trying to coddle him for? Let the man walk out, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
What you want to do? What you want to do? You from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. Yeah, I'm from here.
All right, so...
Oh, hell, y'all, let's go.
What's up with you?
I've already made my peace with it, because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out.
The world ain't just watching.
The world isn't just watching, it's holding its breath. King Harris, son of hip-hop star T, is fighting for his life in an ICU after what insiders call one of the most brutal, planned prison attacks anyone's seen. This wasn't a normal fight behind bars. Sources say it was set up on purpose. Top picture the hospital room, machines hissing, monitors beeping, tubes and wires helping his chest rise. Family members stand outside the glass, shattered. King isn't just another inmate now, he's the center of a storm that's got the streets, the media, and music circles and chaos. Fans flooded the Atlanta hospital, lighting candles, praying, chanting his name all night. Social media went up in flames. Hashtag pray for King and hashtag justice for King were trending worldwide within hours. But behind those hashtags, something far darker was brewing. This didn't feel random. People inside the system started talking about a setup that someone wanted King gone. Prison cameras that record 24 minutes reportedly cut out at the moment he was attacked. No footage, no record, just silence. That silence raised alarm bells. A leaked recording from a nurse circulated fast, with her saying, "This wasn't random, this was a setup. Someone wanted him gone." Those words spread instantly and pushed the theory that King was targeted on purpose.
Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas. His ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison.
If King was targeted, the big question became, why? Who wanted him erased? Some people think he found things inside the prison: corruption, guards involved with contraband, or illegal activity. Others say this attack was about his father. TIA message to show that fame and money don't protect you from enemies who operate outside the system. Then there's the worst version. This wasn't prison politics at all, but a hit ordered from outside. Planned so King would be vulnerable. The Harris family, once untouchable, suddenly looks exposed. Tiny, his mother, broke down in the hospital screaming, "Why my baby? Why him?" Videos of her collapse spread everywhere and turned this into a global heartbreak. T was seen shattered, not the confident mogul, but a father on his knees pleading for his son's life. Cameras caught him outside the ICU, tears streaming, voice cracking, "I don't care about justice. I just want my boy to live." That raw moment hit millions, but it also fueled more questions. As the family grieved, more allegations surfaced. Whistleblowers said prison staff were told to look the other way. People claimed the cameras weren't broken, they were turned off. If true, that means some people sworn to protect justice may have helped enable this attack. Inside the ICU, every second is torture. Doctors warned that the next 24 hours were critical. Every beep on the monitor felt like a countdown. People asked, was this about prison corruption, an old grudge, or revenge aimed at T? Theories piled up, but clear answers. DIDN. Single quotes T. This stopped being a simple prison fight and turned into a story about betrayal, power, and the cost of being famous. By morning, Atlanta was in chaos. Crowds outside the hospital swelled from dozens to hundreds. Candlelight vigils, prayer circles, and protests demanded answers. Fans cried into cameras. Some shouted at prison officials, "Y'all protect criminals. But you couldn't protect a child in your care." That moment captured the rage on the streets. Inside, the family's nightmare grew worse. Reports said doctors warned Tiny and T that King's brain activity was weakening. He wasn't brain dead, but risks of permanent damage, speech loss, paralysis, memory problems were very high. Tiny collapsed again, screaming, "They wanted to kill my baby. They wanted to destroy us." Phone videos of her cries spread quickly. Then came another gut punch. Reports said King briefly flatlined that night, and doctors had to revive him in an emergency push. Clips of the aftermath went viral. Tiny screaming, T on his knees begging God to take him instead. T's words, "Lord, take everything I own. Just don't take my boy," broke the internet and turned this into the most public heartbreak hip-hop has seen in recent memory. Overnight, hashtag King trended worldwide. With the prayers came darker theories. Some fans called it karma. Some said it was revenge. Others whispered the Harris family was cursed. A cryptic Instagram post read, "The sins of the father fall on the son." This was never about King. It was about T. The post vanished quickly, but screenshots spread, pushing speculation to dangerous places. Was it a real message, or just another troll adding fuel to the fire? Either way, it made people fear the worst. Celebrities and industry figures weighed in, and the story swelled into a circus. Rappers and producers posted their takes. Some blamed the prison system. Others hinted at enemies of T. One producer wrote, "When you play with fire, sometimes the flames reach your family." That line sent fans digging through old feuds, wondering if this attack tied back to decades of grudges and dangerous alliances in hip-hop. Meanwhile, the Harris family faced threats on every front. Hospital security tightened after online threats appeared. Protesters outside carried signs saying, "Justice for King," and demanded accountability. T stormed out of the hospital at one point, shouting at cameras, "If y'all don't protect my family, I'll burn this whole system down myself." His swollen face and raw voice made it clear this was not just a public statement. It was the pain of a father pushed to the edge. People split between seeing him as a grieving dad and a man ready to challenge larger forces. Then came the worst medical update. Doctors allegedly told the family that if King didn't improve soon, they might have to consider removing him from life support. That possibility crushed everyone close to him and sent the story into another round of heartbreak and fury. The moment doctors raised the possibility of removing King from life support, Tiny collapsed in the hallway. T.I. erupted in anger, shouting at doctors, "You don't get to decide when my son's story ends." Their grief spilled into the streets, where supporters chanted louder, candles burned brighter, and social media turned into a storm of pain and rage. A heartbreaking photo soon leaked, T gripping King's unconscious hand, whispering, "Daddy's right here. I'm not leaving." Fans are already calling it one of the most devastating images in hip-hop history, but the questions keep circling. Who wanted King Harris gone? Why were cameras allegedly turned off? Was this a message aimed at T, or was King caught in something much bigger than anyone realized? Inside the ICU, doctors worked desperately as fans outside realized this wasn't just another headline. It was a cultural earthquake, shaking Atlanta, shaking hip-hop, and shaking anyone who grew up watching the Harris family. With King's future hanging by a thread, one thing became clear: this nightmare was far from over. The sun rose over Atlanta, but for the Harris family it felt like the darkest day of their lives. Inside that ICU, every beep of the monitor echoed like a countdown. Nurses moved in and out like shadows, their faces tense, while doctors whispered updates too heavy for the family to hear. Outside, the hospital grounds turned into a sea of emotion. Fans prayed, cried, and protested all at once. Posters of King's face waved in the air. Candles flickered. People shouted his name into the sky, begging for a miracle. Then leaked hospital reports hit the internet. King had suffered severe trauma to his skull, possibly from a padlock hidden in a sock, a weapon often used in prison attacks. Witnesses claimed guards stood back and let it happen, fueling suspicions that this wasn't just neglect, it was intent. One insider's words went viral. "It's like they wanted him to suffer." Protesters outside held signs reading, "The system failed King and protect our kids." Suddenly, this wasn't only about one boy's survival. It became a fight for justice. With thousands demanding answers, officials still weren't giving. The family's heartbreak deepened when doctors privately warned them, even if King survived, he might never fully recover. Brain damage, paralysis, memory loss, a future forever changed. Tiny's cries echoed down the hospital corridors as her daughter caught her in her arms. T looked like a man on the edge, storming past cameras with fury in his eyes. His voice cracked as he shouted, "If y'all don't protect my family, I'll tear this whole system down." That moment went viral instantly. Some saw a father broken. Others saw a man ready for war against forces bigger than him. Either way, T.I.'s pain became the world's pain. His fight became a symbol of something larger than one family's tragedy. Social media exploded with speculation. Was this revenge for T.I.'s old beefs? Was it tied to industry politics? Or was it corruption inside the prison itself? A rapper posted cryptically, "Y'all don't even know half the truth. This wasn't random. This was planned." That one line fueled days of debates. Everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't normal. This was bigger, darker, and dirtier than anyone expected. By nightfall, Atlanta became a city of prayers. Vigils grew, crowds swelled, and chants for justice shook the air. Security around the Harris family tightened after threats surfaced online. Tiny clung to her son's hand, whispering prayers. T refused to leave the room. A leaked photo showed him bent over King's bed, whispering in his ear, "I'm not leaving until you wake up. Daddy's right here." That image broke hearts across the world. News outlets ran it nonstop. Fans printed it on posters. It has already become one of the most unforgettable pictures in hip-hop history. But one dark question hung over everything. Will King Harris survive? Doctors warned the next 24 hours would decide everything. If the unthinkable happened, if King didn't make it, it wouldn't just be the loss of a son. It would feel like the collapse of a dynasty, the end of an era, the most devastating chapter hip-hop has ever faced. Whispers of curses, revenge, and betrayal circled like vultures, and the silence from officials only added to the suspicion. Was this really a prison fight, or a carefully planned hit meant to break T through his son? No one knows the full truth yet, but one thing is certain. This story has shaken hip-hop to its core and left millions begging for a miracle. And now the Harris family waits. Atlanta waits. The world waits. Will King Harris open his eyes and fight back from the edge? Or will this tragedy mark the night hip-hop lost a prince forever? Whatever happens, one fact can't be denied. This isn't just about a boy in a hospital bed. It's about corruption, betrayal, and a family being tested in the harshest way imaginable. And as fans, all we can do is pray that the next headline brings light instead of darkness.